Welcome to HFY Stories. Please subscribe to the channel. Your one click means the world to me. A black rifle barrel slid from beneath a diplomat's robe, and Commander Titus saw it half a heartbeat too late. Beside the royal dais, the human guard was already moving. 3 days earlier, Titus had believed Elias Croft's greatest danger was embarrassment. The Grand Citadel's throne hall had filled with governors, generals, and envoys from worlds the Aurelian Empire had broken over 10,000 years. When Empress Aurelia entered, the court folded into its ritual bow. Titus and the Taurian vanguard dropped to one knee. Croft stayed upright. Titus felt the insult like heat against his face. The human stood in plain gray combat armor, rifle vertical, boots locked beneath him. No jeweled plating. No ceremonial crest. No fear that Titus could see. "Human," Titus said quietly, "follow the formation." Croft kept his eyes forward. "I am following mine." The Empress noticed. Her silver gaze settled on him from the platinum throne. "Captain Croft, is there a reason you remain standing while an empire kneels?" The hall went still. Croft had been sent by Earth's United Directorate only 5 years after Arthur Pendleton signed the Solaria Accords. Earth had accepted tribute, military service, and imperial authority in exchange for survival. Everyone in that room understood what Croft represented: a conquered species wearing its own uniform because the victors found the costume amusing. Titus rose halfway, his hand moving toward the plasma blade at his hip. "Kneel," he said. "Do not make me teach you how." Croft finally looked at him. "Commander, Earth military personnel stand while guarding." Aurelia descended the steps until only 2 feet separated her from the human. "Your treaty keeps your military customs. It does not place them above my command." "No, Majesty." "Then kneel." Croft shifted one boot a few centimeters, planted himself, and snapped his rifle into a formal guard position. The metal struck his armor with a hard clack. "I cannot." Titus pulled his blade free. Violet light flared across Croft's visor. Aurelia lifted one finger. Titus stopped. "Explain," she said. Croft lowered the rifle carefully. "You asked Earth for soldiers, not ornaments. A guard on one knee has to rise before he can move. Commander Titus needs more than a second to change posture, bring his weapon up, and find a target. A projectile can cross this chamber before he finishes." Titus's jaw tightened. Croft turned his helmet slightly toward the kneeling vanguard. "If danger enters this room, I want my feet under me. I want my weapon ready. I will take the hit meant for you. I will die at this post if I have to, but I will not make myself slower just to look obedient." No one laughed now. Aurelia studied Titus, then the other guards, then Croft's balanced stance. "Commander," she said, "stand." Titus stared at her. "All of you." Armor joints clicked across the hall as the Taurian vanguard rose. Aurelia returned to her throne. "Captain Croft keeps his custom, so does the vanguard from this hour onward. I prefer a living shield to a graceful one." Croft faced forward again. Titus wanted to hate the logic more than he hated the man. He failed. That failure made the following days worse. In the Citadel training pits, Titus matched Croft against heavier fighters and harsher drills. Croft never fought like a Taurian. He gave ground, changed angles, struck armor controls, and used larger bodies against themselves. When Titus drove him into a wall during close combat, Croft jammed 2 fingers into the release housing of Titus's respiratory regulator. Titus had to retreat or lose airflow. Croft did not celebrate. "Your armor protects the obvious places," he said, breathing hard. "That makes the small places important." Titus carried that sentence with him into High Minister Olarian's chamber that night. Olarian poured dark stellar wine into a narrow glass. 6 matte black rifles rested inside an open metal case on his desk. "Human weapons." The Empress has turned your humiliation into doctrine, Olarian said. Tomorrow she will turn more of this court toward Earth. Titus looked at the rifles. What are you proposing? A correction. Olarian explained the next day's Ascendant Nova celebration. Royal shields would be tuned to scatter plasma and thermal energy. Kinetic dampeners would be inactive because no civilized attacker was expected to use solid ammunition. The rifles had come from human black markets. When Aurelia falls, Olarian said, Earth receives the blame. The Senate demands retaliation. I take the regency before the Empire fractures. Titus's hands curled into fists. You are asking me to betray my sovereign. I am asking you to preserve the order she is abandoning. Titus thought of Croft forcing him backward in the training ring. He thought of the court watching him rise because a human had exposed a weakness. His pride answered before his loyalty did. What do you need from the Vanguard? At the festival, that question came back to him. The ceiling above the central plaza stood open to the violet gold binary sky. Nobles packed the terraces in luminous robes. Aurelia sat above them on a floating dais in diamond armor. The Vanguard stood. Croft occupied the Empress's right flank. Titus saw him glance repeatedly at the security readings. What is it? Titus muttered. Kinetic field is down. It is a plasma event. That is what bothers me. Then the black rifle appeared beneath the robe. Croft moved. The first shot cracked across the plaza. It passed through the blue royal shield and tore into the throne behind Aurelia. Croft slammed into the Empress and drove her to the floor. Titus reached for his blade. Too slow. A second burst struck the steps. 2 Taurian guards dropped behind the railing as the crowd broke into panic. Croft rolled to one knee, fired 3 controlled bursts, and forced 2 attackers down. A round struck his left shoulder plate and spun him sideways. He caught himself against the dais, face tight behind the visor, then raised the rifle again with his good arm. Titus charged the 3rd attacker and brought him down before he reached the crowd. For 1 sharp second, everything near the dais stopped. 3 human rifles lay on the floor. Titus saw his chance to save the plan. Majesty, he said, those weapons came from Earth. Croft's helmet turned toward him. If Earth sent them, Croft said, why did I just put myself between them and her? Aurelia rose slowly. Croft pointed toward the security tower. Someone disabled the kinetic protection. Someone knew these rifles would pass through. Check the shooters. Check who had access. Titus looked toward Olarian's balcony. The High Minister was already backing away. Aurelia followed Titus's gaze. Her expression changed. Before she could speak, Olarian shouted an order in the old tongue. Targeting beams appeared across the dais. Titus's blood went cold. A third of his own vanguard raised plasma casters. For the first time in his service, Titus could not move. Men he had trained were aiming at the Empress. Olarian had spread the conspiracy deeper than he had admitted. Croft shoved Titus with his uninjured arm. Stairs, hold the choke point. The command broke the paralysis. Titus ignited his blade and threw up his shield as plasma fire struck the steps. He advanced into it, forcing the traitors into the narrow approach, while Croft dragged Aurelia behind the shattered throne. Do not chase them, Croft shouted. Make them come through you. Titus obeyed the human. That realization would have enraged him an hour earlier. Now it kept Aurelia alive. Traitors pressed up the stairs. Titus met them at the top, turning aside blasts and driving them back. Whenever one slipped beyond his reach, Croft's heavy sidearm fired from cover beside the ruined throne. He had only one working arm, yet every shot was deliberate. Joint, visor edge, weapon hand, threat removed. The loyal guards began to rally. Olarian ran. A grav skiff lifted from the balcony platform behind him. Croft saw it. His sidearm clicked empty. "Leave him," Titus shouted. "You are wounded." Croft looked at the rifle he had dropped near the steps. "No." He lunged from cover, caught the weapon by its grip, and braced the barrel across his damaged shoulder. His face went pale from the effort. The skiff rose. Croft fired. 3 rounds struck the propulsion housing. The craft lurched sideways, smashed into the balcony structure, and threw Olarian onto the grand staircase. He tumbled to the base of the dais, alive but unable to escape. The remaining traitors lowered their weapons. Titus shut down his blade. Croft's rifle slipped from his hand. His knees gave way. Titus caught him before he hit the floor. For a moment, the 2 soldiers simply looked at each other, one supporting the man he had tried to break. "I misjudged you," Titus said. Croft managed a tired breath. "You were not subtle about it." A sound escaped Titus that surprised him. A laugh. Aurelia stepped around the broken throne. "Chancellor Pierce." Reginald Pierce emerged from behind an overturned banquet table, shaken but unhurt. "Majesty, destroy the Celeria Accords." Pierce stared at her. Aurelia pointed toward Croft. "Earth paid for peace because we called humanity weak. Today a human protected my life while my own court tried to sell it." She faced the surviving governors and officers. "Draft a new treaty. No tribute, no vassal status. Earth will stand beside Aegis Prime as an ally. Their soldiers will train ours, and ours will fight beside theirs." Then she looked at Croft. "Captain Elias Croft will be offered command in the unified fleets." Croft grimaced as Titus adjusted his grip beneath the wounded shoulder. "I should probably ask Earth before accepting an imperial promotion." "You may ask," Aurelia said. "I expect them to have sense." Titus looked down at the human. "When you take the front," he said, "I will be there." Croft nodded once. Above them, the open roof framed the 2 sons of Aegis Prime. On the plaza floor, Taurian guards who had once knelt in perfect rows were standing shoulder to shoulder with the grey-armored human, while servants carried away the broken pieces of the platinum throne.